Nick, you didn't do the intro.
Oh, I didn't get an intro. Yeah, you're right. It didn't
It didn't
happen.
go. It didn't happen.
I guess we're just live.
I guess we're just live. Hey,
I'm glad.
everybody, welcome to our channels. I'm Satoshi Sean. We got Nikki Maple and my buddy Bitcoin Ben. It's going to be fun. Nick's from Canada. Ben, where you at?
I'm in Las Vegas right now. I'm in the RV, living the dream. We're I'm having a blast on the blockchain unmasked tour, hanging out with crypto people and freedom-loving people and First Amendment, Second Amendment, all the amendments. Well, not all of them. There's a few of them that we should get rid of, but oh well, what can you do?
Nice. So is that the Divi RV, the Divi bus?
Yeah. It's it's amazing. I love it.
So I got a question for you then. So are you Bitcoin Ben or Divi Ben? What is that when you're traveling? What is it?
Well, I'm actually Bitcoin Ben, but it's a great sponsor, which is the actual Divi project.
Yeah.
They are. See, that's what I like about them. They're not just Divi. They're pro crypto. They're pro freedom. They're pro, advancing technology with whoever.
That's cool.
They love the Bitcoin. They love Litecoin. They love Ethereum. They love, just the advancement of the human race, really. And
That's deep.
that's why I actually partnered with them, because the projects that they're involved in is not just from them. It's their community. It's the crypto world that they want to help it grow, not just their project. And that's how we all win. We all win when we put away this tribalism that we have of, I only like Bitcoin. I only like Bitcoin Cash. I only like, use whatever you want, have your freedom, but also understand that there are other people that like XRP.
Yeah.
Now, I give XRP a lot of crap, but if you want to use XRP, go right ahead. It's all about freedom, not requiring everyone to use what you think they should use.
Yeah. Well, it's all about mass adoption, right? Everybody wins with mass adoption.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's Ben was into Divi before me. He was actually brought me into it, which I'm very glad. But yeah, that's one thing. Divi, they really focus on getting it done right, but their focus is on mass adoption. That's the whole thing. Because if people don't come in, it doesn't grow. And for us to grow, we need people to come in. And yes, homie John. By the way, homie John, the Ritz, everyone, thanks for coming in and being in the chat. Nick, post some of their chats, man. You got to click on them.
Oh, that's right, man. I'm new to this. I'm new to this.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good one, Sean.
But yeah, homie John, there has been some issues with the Mochi servers. I've been having some trouble with my wallet. I was going to go into to their support because Divi has really good support on Telegram. I was going to head in there and have them tell me what to do. I think I might need to restart my node. A lot of things to go into today. Then we wanted to talk to you. First off, if you didn't know, which we've been talking about on our show, that your channel was taken away by YouTube. Have you heard anything? What have you found?
they're not going to give me my channel back until at least the end of this month and probably past the election. Um, they don't want people out there who can explain what's going on and explain it in a very easy to understand way. Because as we get closer to the election, they're going to throw the, they're going to get rid of a lot of us. Pro Trump, pro freedom, uh, pro America, you know, people. They've already announced it, like Facebook. They're going after anybody who has anything to do with the QAnon movement.
So
And
it's a form of it's all censorship. Is this
Yeah,
kind of block
absolutely.
censorship?
Well, I think you hit on it. It doesn't really. It almost doesn't really matter what the message is if it's easy to understand. Neither side wants it put out there. You know, and nobody wants people to really understand what's going on, because when people do understand what's going on, they kind of wake up and they see the system for what it is. Who was it? I think it was Ford. He said if people really understood how the system works, there would be riots in the streets tomorrow. You know,
Yep.
Which is one thing. People are waking up. The whole Great Awakening thing is happening. People are asking questions and think, why do I pay taxes if you can print up $7 trillion? Why are you sucking money out of me all the time?
Why do I need to fund you, right? If you can do that.
Yeah. So people are starting to ask questions, which is good. I wanted to go over some news that kind of went along with it. Just real quick, I'll go over the news so we can just get it out of the way. Even though I'm not the news guy, I don't have to do the news.
Sean, can you please do the news?
I will do the news. Thank you for asking me. I don't have to, but I will. Not the news
please,
guy.
Okay. Please.
So it's okay. Crypto poses a growing. This is from Bloomberg, mainstream, not crypto. But crypto poses a growing threat to national security, the U.S. says. And in reading through this, there's a lot of, like Ben was saying, just ambiguity, just a lot of like buzzwords, you know, threat, national security, nothing specific. And it says that like never before, cryptocurrencies pose a threat for terrorists, bad actors, malicious actors, and rogue nations. What is a rogue nation? I asked myself that, and I asked my digital speaker. Can't say her name, but I asked her define rogue nation, and she started talking about the Mission Impossible movie. So, what is a rogue nation? I mean, to Iran, the United States is a rogue nation. To the United States, it's someone that poses that disagrees with us. So
actually, Iran, North Korea, a lot of the enemies of our country are not really enemies of our country. They were created and ran actually by the CIA. Like,
yeah,
all right,
that's a whole nother point, though, Ben. That's a whole nother show, because most of those countries were our allies until, like Libya. Was it Libya, Iraq, Iran, Syria? All of those countries were our allies. They weren't just okay. They were our buddies until they said, "Hey, you know what? We have a lot of oil. We have a lot of gold. We'd like to make our currency based off of those instead of the U.S. dollar." Like the day they said that is the day they become enemies. I think it was Syria. It was within 7 days from when they made that announcement. They went to being a terrorist country and our enemy. But that's, like I said, a whole different thing. But the idea.
Chris has a good point here, though. Chris has a good point here, though, right? Is that all the countries that don't have debt-based banking systems?
Which is, like I said, based on the U.S. dollar hegemony. But the idea of a rogue nation is really just kind of in the eye of the beholder. And to say that crypto represents that, it really showcases the freedom of crypto, because crypto is not a nation. That's the whole point of being decentralized. It's not part of any government. So that really showcases, I think, the fungibility of crypto and the fact how it is not tied to anything.
It's if you read that whole ad or article, propaganda, whatever you want to call it, they're basically saying crypto's a threat because we do not control it.
Yes. And see, that is putting it in simple terms so that someone can understand it. And yeah. Second one was just about Bitmex. Just wanted to hit this because it's ongoing. $818 million were pulled off Bitmex since he was arrested. I think it was let me look at the number of Bitcoin. It was 76,000 Bitcoin were pulled off of just Bitmex, which that's those insane numbers. But okay, news kind of goes along with what we're saying about freedom and censorship. It's bad. It is really, really bad.
Yeah, I think that
you can go ahead.
That a lot of these exchanges are going to drop because number one, most of them, the volumes on them are just completely horseshit. And,
which we've talked about, yeah.
Right. It's they plug in to an API of like Kraken or wherever, and then they reflect that volume as their own. And so then you have these other platforms that actually calculate their volume separate from the other volume, and then they add them together, and they're like, wow, look at all the volume. Look, like every Litecoin ever made was traded in 24 hours. And it's all bullshit. It's rehypothecation. And it's not real. That's why if you really want to see volume, you look at the blockchain. Don't look at the exchanges. Don't look at any of that horseshit. Look at the blockchain of the coins, and that will show you true exchange volume.
Well, that's what we're talking about with eXchangily or a DEX being, that you can see all the trading. The blockchain doesn't eliminate fraud, but it makes it a lot harder to hide and a lot easier for people to see. Go ahead, Nick.
I was going to say basically what you just said there. We were talking with today and just talking about DEXs, right? And the DEXs provide that visibility into, what is my actual exchange doing today? There's no fake data. If you look at the blockchain, you see the data for all the transactions that are occurring independent of the platform. But as a DEX, it's pretty hard to almost impossible if you have a true DEX to fake your numbers. Right? Yep. That's the value of a DEX, right? It's transparency.
That's what we need. We need more, and we'll get there. I mean, I've heard people like, oh, I don't want to get into Bitcoin. It's too complicated. It's this, it's that, and that. Yeah, everything initially is complicated.
Wouldn't it be easy if there was a DEX that had an onboard for people to go from fiat into crypto right there on the DEX? Nick, don't you think that would be really cool and easy?
That would be really cool.
That would be so cool if only someone could come up with it and do that.
And if it had like lenient KYC. That would be
Like no KYC for €1,000 or under.
something like that. That would be awesome.
Wonder if someone could do that.
We should create a project.
We should.
I have
Oh
a good
wait,
name.
wait a minute. I think Nimiq has done that,
Oh,
and
they
they're
have.
partnering with eXchangily to bring on €1,000 or under if you have an IBAN or an international bank account, and you can go straight and start trading on eXchangely without moving it from another source and paying gas fees or anything else. And all the trading will be done right there on the blockchain. Wouldn't
That sounds like we rehearsed that, which is funny.
No, but we just got to have a 2-hour meeting in which we were fighting for that and explaining how that's valuable. And it's weird to come out here and be like, it'll be really cool. Yeah, that's what we need. Onboarding is tough, and then sending it from an onboard to an exchange that you're comfortable with is another step, and that costs money. So having it in one place, a lot better.
Yeah, and I am pro anything that moves the user interface and on-ramping easier.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's how we're moving into a new world where pretty soon you're going to get rewarded with a cryptocurrency for watching your television. We already have it, the Brave browser.
Mm-hmm.
You actually get paid to use a browser. We're transitioning out of a commodity-based global economy into a human attention-based.
I'm going to make a point here because what you're saying is true. But I'm going to say if people don't know it and don't care about it, it's never going to go anywhere. I'm going to say something that is true, and I'm going to guess that neither one of you knew this. So for you to search, you use Google. You can use Microsoft, or you can use
Nobody should ever use the Microsoft browser.
No, the Microsoft search engine, or
okay.
the
Bing.
or
That's even worse. Yeah, okay.
Bing. Yeah, there you go. That's a good thing. Bing.
Horrible.
Or the one that I use. I forget what it is. That you're protected.
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo. I use DuckDuckGo. Right. Okay. Here's the thing. What if you got paid every time you did a search? Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah, you did. Microsoft paid everyone to use Bing. Anytime you did a search, you got Microsoft money. It would deposit in your Microsoft account. And they did it for years, and nobody freaking knew. I used to work for Microsoft, for Xbox. Nobody knew. People at Microsoft didn't know that you got paid to use that instead of Google. Because, of course, Google would suppress that. But nobody knew. It was already there. So people have to know and have to see value in it. Yeah. Literally, people worked there and didn't know that. They're like, wait, I can get Microsoft, put my money in my Microsoft account directly into your Microsoft account. You log in to spend.
Interesting.
But yeah, and that's something that that Microsoft, they did it for years. I don't know if it's still going on. I don't think it is, but I don't know. It might be. But I don't use it. But when you open up a browser, everything's connected to Google. You have to go through all the steps. You have to do the work. And yeah, Ritz, the technology has to come up. Brave browser on the computer is great, though. It is good.
Yeah.
On the mobile, I haven't used it on the mobile because it's a Chrome plugin, and I have iPhone, so I just use Safari or DuckDuckGo because DuckDuckGo app works very good on Apple. But my point is that already was out there, and it failed, for Microsoft. So if it failed for Microsoft, we really have to do a lot of work because we can see value in it, but really we have to show value and just get the word out to other people, which is kind of the hardest thing when it comes to crypto, is just getting the word out.
Oh yeah, there's so many projects that so many people are doing. That's why I think that there isn't going to be one winner. Like, we're not going to have a future Google. there's not going to be one entity that is everything. I think we've reached the point where centralization has gotten as centralized as it can. And now we're at the point where we are going to decentralize away from that.
You think so? I wanted to ask you about that, and you brought that up as perfect. On that point, I hate politicians. I hate pretty much everyone in the government. I like one guy, and just he happens to be this Texas senator, but it's Crenshaw. But I know that sounds like I'm biased it's not because he's from Texas. It's because of him. I did like Mike Lee, but the more I look into Mike Lee, there's certain things I don't like about him. He's hilarious, but he is on the monopoly, the board that handles monopolies, and he is not pushing to make these tech companies accountable. Do you think we're moving to a place where we're going to bust up Google? We're going to bust up Microsoft. We're going to bust up a lot of these for competition, like we did back in the 90s.
Yes, but it isn't going to be led by the government. It's going to be led by the people. The people are going to choose to move away. And not everybody, not everyone has a problem with Google. That's their choice. But we are going to decentralize away from centralization. It just might not be everybody. Like, we'll have options, and that's the key, is that we'll have options of Brave browser. We'll have the option of like DuckDuckGo.
Yeah.
We'll have the option of leaving YouTube, or actually getting kicked off YouTube and using another platform. Now, will that be Swift? Will that be, where YouTube and Google really get, a slap on the hand and they really get punished? No, it's going to take a while, just like transitioning out of the old, broadcast TV into everyone watching cable happened. The same thing, that decentralized.
Yeah, Tantan, you guys are making a good point about Theta, but to put it even in a tiny, tiny bubble, 80% of people in crypto don't know what the hell Theta does. You think anyone knows outside of crypto what Theta does? I disagree with you, Ben. I think that the Microsoft paying people to search is the best example of how it's tough to have choices that are viable choices because people don't know about it, because these monopolies have become so big that they have to be busted up by the antitrust busters. What do you think, Nick?
Well, I think that, the majority of the population likes to be spoon-fed their information. They don't like to go out and do any kind of independent investigation and form an opinion on their own. So I think a large portion of the population is like lazy in that regard. And if they just listen to the everyday thing that they're used to listening to, which is like habitual, then for those types of people to like change their mindset, I think is a far stretch. So, and that kind of mentality is like perpetual, right? It's like, I don't know, you're kind of taught that kind of mentality. And I think people just need to, I think it comes down to a personality trait where people, either you question things and you're curious about things, or you're not, right? And those people that question things, that are curious about things, those are really like the types of people that are innovators, and they push things forward. So, the more we kind of push this kind of thought process, the better, right? You'll get higher adoption as time goes on. But where that breaking point is, like when you get that kind of mass adoption, that's a tough one to tell. But I can see it's happening. Like people are definitely like I don't know, more in tune with what's being fed to them and understanding that there's a lot of lies out there. There's a lot of suppression. So
I think it will happen, like you said, Ben. But I think people need an example. I think people have been lulled into this acceptance that okay, a perfect example. President just released all the stuff on Russia. There is clear, massive violations of Obama. I mean, clear, massive treasonous acts of people in high places. And the majority of Americans are like, oh, politics is terrible, isn't it? Those wacky politicians, look at them and their wackiness. Like, no, man, you can get killed for that. You can get hung for that. Why are you just saying that, oh, politics is just dirty? This acceptance, I think someone has to be not slapped on the wrist, but they have to have like their hand chopped off. Where this is wrong for Google to have done. This is wrong for Facebook. And Facebook was fined the biggest fine in history, and it was like $1 billion. Okay, $1 billion for this massive the Cambridge Analytical thing. And people are like, $1 billion, that's a lot of money. But in contrast to Google's or to Facebook's income, that was literally 1 month of their income. So it's like they committed a murder, and then they were fined $2,000 or $3,000, whatever your income is for a month. Think of committing a high felony and being fined 1 month of your income. That is the record fine for any company in the United States. Is what Google had to pay. That's the worst. The biggest thing ever was 1 month of their income. And that it needs to change.
Your frustration is understandable, but you also have to understand that 60% of the people out there are not like us. They wake up, they go to work, they come home on weekends, they go fishing, they go to the lake. They don't care. They couldn't give a rat's ass what happens in Washington. That's why our election numbers are always so low. Like 40% of America votes. And on an off year, it's maybe 23%. It's ridiculous because as long as we're fat and happy, no one's going to care. And that's why I have friends who almost pray that there's a collapse, that there's something that just shakes them to their core. And that's why the global elites and the globalists and the progressives have always used wars, because wars, you gotta pay attention. You're in it. It's why we had 9/11. It's why we had World War II, Pearl Harbor. They were all events to shake the population into agreeing to the next war. It's how we've been manipulated.
Tan, you're giving me a bad. It looks like I'm writing these things, dude. It really does. It really does. People think Tan is me.
It is you.
It's not me. I didn't say that, but you're 100% true. Ever since the U.S. dollar has taken off the gold standard, minimum wage is a joke. It's a lie, and inflation is straight robbery. But yeah. Well, it's interesting that ever since central banks were created, it's been nothing but perpetual wars. The last 100 years have been 100 years of constant wars, 100 years of central banking. Whole nother show, though. We better wrap things up. It's been about half an hour. We need to give away some crypto.
Okay.
Let me say this real quick. The
Sure thing.
new world order has been shaped using the global banking system.
Yes.
That's it. And until we destroy the US dollar, which Trump recently, he made the first move on destroying the US dollar. What he did was, out of the Treasury, he launched emergency bonds. And that's the first thing you do before you launch a new currency, is you create a bond structure for that new currency. It's exactly what Abraham Lincoln did. It's exactly what Andrew Jackson did.
Yeah.
And get ready, because at the end of the next 4 years of Trump, we will have a brand new nationalized America only currency.
Sorry, Nikki Maple in Canada. You got to play with your loonies alone.
I got loonies and toonies over here. They're golden color.
All right, I'm going to give away 1,000 NIM to anyone who can pick the number between 1 and 20 that I have in my hand. Here, on the other side of this. 1,000 NIM, go. You got to write your number down, Nick, unless you have a cool...
I have a question here. I have a question.
Go ahead and ask while I'm getting them, while they're coming up with numbers.
Oh, actually, you know what? It's not a fair question. It's not a fair question because somebody's going to answer it.
Then ask Ben. It's not fair. Ask Ben.
Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna pick a letter this time again, and
Man,
all right.
it's so weird. It's so weird how you guys go right around the number constantly, all the time, every time.
It's 11.
Yeah, it is. All right, Ben, you got 1,000. It was 11.
Yeah, I'm very good at analyzing people.
Okay, I can give it away to passive income because there's a lag, but yeah, Ben did guess it right before. Passive income, you got the 1,000 and Nick, you got your letters.
Yeah, I got my letter. I'm looking through here to see if anybody got it. Oh, sorry, somebody wanted here. Hold on, let me just make sure. The letter is
B.
The letter B, and I'm looking here. I think it's Nasir Weaver. Maybe. Let me see here. Yeah, it's Nasir Weaver.
All right.
Nasir's the winner.
Here's one. 500 Divi to anybody in the main chat, both channels. How much money was pulled off of Bitmex since Arthur was arrested, either Bitcoin or money? Who can guess it? And Divi has been making moves up. It has been going up.
Has it?
Which is oh yeah, dude, it's went up quite a bit. It's lost. It's made back a lot of the ground that it had lost past week.
Let me take a look.
All right, what do we got? 7,000 Bitcoin is close, but not smoke. You have no cigar. You have to get closer.
No smoke. No smoke.
50 million, no. 149 million, no. Yeah. 149 million, Phil. You're getting closer. 50 million, 110. 110 is the wrong direction. 69.99. No, it is going the wrong way. No. You see, you got that wrong. In millions of dollars or in thousands of Bitcoin. How much has been pulled off? Heavy metals getting close.
Yeah.
Janice, I'm going to give it to you 100 million, 180 million. It's 181, but you got it. It's not 181. No. We're completely wrong, Janice. You don't have it. You're nowhere close.
Yeah,
you guys are nowhere close. You guys are nowhere close. And not even in the you'd be in the ballpark estate. Not forget about the parking lot. 120,000 Bitcoin. 71,000 Nasir. 71,000 what? 71,800 what? 1,000 million? Well, Janice, that's not a real number because that would be a billion. But
that is a real number. Billion's a real number.
Yeah, but she said 1,000 millions. 71,800 what, Nasir? Dollars? 450,000 Bitcoin? No. I'm gonna flip a coin in a minute. I'm just gonna give it to someone in 10 seconds because I'm going to assume that they mean something. Over 450, over 45,000 Bitcoin. Yes, over 45,000 Bitcoin. $71,000. No, more than that. And Nasir, 76,000, 70. So it's like 75,090 or something. Bitcoin. Nasir said 71,080. I'm assuming he meant Bitcoin, and it was 810 million passive income. $810 million, not 180. So Nasir, you got another 500 Divi, which I just sent you some Divi today. I will send you some more as you are saved in my wallet for, over 500 million. Crypto Chris card is 800 million, 800 something. So that's it. Giveaway. It's been cool having you, Ben. You come on anytime. Huh?
It's hard actually, like giving away free shit.
I know it is. It is. It's not hard doing it here, but when you go to send it, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, especially the Divi wallet, because it shows you how much it's worth in USD. It's like, oh, man. All right. Yep. Well, all right. It was good hanging out with you guys.
Thanks.
Head over to Kiff's Crypto. Subscribe to Kiff's. Nick is covering for. If you're not, if you're watching on Kiff's, head over to Sean. Give us a subscribe. Ben, I can still see you on Patreon, right? And I watch on Facebook. But where do people go to check you out now?
I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. And if you'd like, join me on my Patreon, which is actually www.patreon.com/BitcoinBen. And I put every video, every interview, and I do a video every day there.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed I'm still getting the alerts on it. So, all right, check out Bitcoin Bed. Check out everyone. Congratulations this year and everybody. We will see you guys. Today's Friday. Yep. This weekend sometime. I think Lee's gonna be back for Kiffs. You take care, Ben. Have fun in Vegas.
Nice to meet you, Ben.
When are you coming to Texas for?
Next weekend. Next weekend, I will be in Kerrville, Texas, at the Wild Ass Hay Barn.
Okay, and I might be there. I might do some knucklehead hijinks.
It's going to be a blast. We're gonna have beer. We're gonna have food. We're gonna talk cryptos. I'll actually be broadcasting live. It's just going to be a great time.
Awesome. You guys take care.
Thanks, guys.